Hey! What's up, all? KP, aka the Quivering Palm here. This is it. Day one of the Album Writing Club challenge to produce an album in 1 month. And I'm pretty excited about this. I just wanted to introduce you to the space that I'm going to be using. I'm going to kind of restrict myself, like 90% of the writing and the working on this and the videos and all that stuff is going to take place here in this little mini studio that I created here. I've got a little 88 key Casio keyboard that I pretend to be able to play. I'm okay, but I'm not really much of a piano player. But so I do a lot of my keyboard stuff. I'll do like rough cuts, and then a lot of times I'll move things around and sequence them in a way that I like. We had a discussion in the album writing club forum about how different instruments kind of seem to produce different kinds of music a lot of times with each artist. So if a certain artist starts off with keyboard or starts off with the bass or starts off with guitar, a lot of times different kinds of styles are created because of that alone, and even different kinds of guitars can produce different kinds of music if you're using an electric versus an acoustic and stuff. So let's take a look at some of my guitars. So anyway, I got some guitars here. I got a Fender steel string here that is good for performance and for recording. Not so great for writing, I find. I've maybe written a handful of songs on this, but it's not really, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just doesn't lend itself to writing for me. It's probably the hardest guitar of mine to play, really, when it comes down to just the action of the strings and the strings themselves and all that kind of stuff. This one right here, on the other hand, I've written probably 90% of my music on. This is a classical nylon acoustic. What makes it Sigma? Yeah, Sigma, that's what I thought. Sigma guitars. And it really lends itself to heavier music, actually. I've written a lot of heavy songs on this because it just has that kind of... I don't have a pick on me right now, but I usually play with a pick. But anyway, you can just kind of hear in the tone, it kind of has that bassy tone that gives it a little bit of a grit. So if you don't have a nylon guitar, this is a classical nylon, so the strings are a little further apart too, so it makes it a little easier to do finger picking. There are nylons that are more folk nylons that have the strings closer together. This one's was a high school graduation present, actually, from parents, and I've used this so much. I got a broken string right now. I got to replace that. But I've written tons of stuff on this baby right here. I would say most of my music was written on that guy. But for this project, we got this guy. So this is my little Traveler. This is a little Yamaha that I got recently. I love this little guitar. It's so easy to use. It's just a nice, light, acoustic guitar. Has a tuner on it. And I've been doing the majority of my acoustic performing with this thing, and a lot of writing lately, actually, on this. Now, as far as electric, any electric guitar parts would be done with Old Blue here. It's an Ibanez RG540 that I've owned for many, many years. It's custom made. I love this guitar. It has amazing tone. It's really easy to play. The Floyd Rose is locked down. I hate whammy bars. So other than that, this is kind of my, every guitar player kind of has that one guitar that is. This is it. This is the one right here. This is the one I use the most out of any of them. Now, as far as what I use when I'm actually recording the electric or the acoustic, with the acoustic, I usually mic it up. I might use that mic, or I might use a 57 or a 58. With the and I might also plug it in direct, although I'm not really happy with acoustic sounds when they're plugged in direct usually, unless it's maybe used as a layer to double the mic'd one. But even then, usually it doesn't sound that great. But the electric, I just plug in direct, and I use amp emulators. So lately, when I'm recording with my band, I use my amps. I mic up my amps, and then I might also plug in direct for some kind of effect, possibly. But usually I just mic up my amps with the band that I play in with, which is named Tasha's Laughter, by the way, if you want to check them out. Or us out, I should say. But for the Quivering Palm, I almost always just plug in direct, and I use various types of amp emulators and pedal effects and internal effects, and kind of depends on the song. There's really no rules when it comes to that. With the Quivering Palm, I pretty much just I'm all over the map. Sometimes I do actually use an amp and mic it up and stuff, but it's pretty rare for this project. I have a few other ones that I kind of use as secondary guitars, but they don't get much play. I'll show you kind of a unique instrument that I might bring out, I might not. I might use it as kind of a drone instrument underneath something. We'll see. I'm not quite sure if I will. It's probably not in tune at all, I would assume, but this is an Appalachian dulcimer, which is not to be confused with the hammered dulcimer you probably see at Renaissance fairs. This is an American instrument, believe it or not. It was created in the Appalachian Mountains way back when, and it's used primarily in bluegrass music. But it's more related to the German zither. If you're familiar with the zither, this is pretty closely related to that. But it kind of has it's really out of tune right now, but I'll tune it up and I'll play a few things, but you can kind of hear that it has sort of like a little bit of a almost sitar type tone to it. And it's really fun to play. Some kind of folksy stuff. So that's the Appalachian dulcimer. I may or may not use that. I'm pretty much going to restrict the writing part of it to my acoustic guitar and my voice, and that's it. And then a pen and paper. I like to write lyrics longhand. I can't sit in front of a computer screen and type out lyrics originally. I'll type it out later, but I always have to do my lyrics longhand generally. And so I've got just a pen and paper there for just audio snippets and stuff. I usually use my phone to record, but I'm going to be using this Olympus little audio recorder that I got for Christmas recently. I'm going to try that out, and that's about it. I'm keeping it really simple. And then once I have, you know, the lyrics and the melody and the chord progression and the arrangement kind of figured out, that's when I move over to my Mac here. I've got a PreSonus audio box, which is like the audio to digital converter, so I can plug my guitar into that and it can go directly into my computer and record it in GarageBand, believe it or not. I'm pretty simple when it comes to this stuff. I used a Tascam 424 tape recorder for the longest time. I'm always. It's not that I'm up with technology in general. It's just that I like to kind of go old school with a lot of the stuff. So I'm using GarageBand. It's an old computer from like 2011. It has every single jam pack you could possibly get for GarageBand, which is why I like to use this computer in particular for it. I have every kind of instrument you could think of, even some weird like medieval ones and stuff, and all kinds of stuff. A lot of world music things, and I like to play around with different sounds. I like to do everything from scratch. So all the drums and bass and key parts that you hear, I sequence every bit of it from scratch by note, and then I record the guitar parts over the top of that, the rhythm and the leads, and then I sing all the parts over the top of that, and then I'll mix everything together and I'll master it, and hopefully it'll all be done by May 31st. That's the hope anyway. With these videos, you're gonna see me working on songs, but a lot of the writing actually happens up here. A lot of it happens when I'm out and about, or it often happens in the shower, but don't worry, I'm not going to include that part in the video series. I'll keep that part out. But you're going to see, I'll kind of do snippets of of song ideas that I'm working on as I go. I'm not going to have just the camera going and me sitting here in silence. Don't worry, I won't put you through any of that. So starting tomorrow, I'm hoping to have some stuff that I can play for you at least some beginning ideas. I'm not going to start that right now because I'm absolutely exhausted right now, but we'll get a fresh start tomorrow. But anyway, this is the place. This is where the magic is going to happen. And I think that's pretty much all the instruments I'm going to use. Oh, yeah, forgot microphone. That's right. That's important. So I'm going to be singing into a Yeti Blue. I've gotten a lot of really good sounds out of that microphone, actually, when it comes to vocals. So I'm really happy with the tone and everything with that. Got a little spit guard on here, got some soundproofing around it. Seems to do the trick. Last but not least, I have my assistant audio engineer who's a little grumpy right now, but this is Maestro, and he's going to be helping me a lot with this process. Meet Maestro, everybody. Say hi, Maestro. Oh, he doesn't want to talk right now. Anyway, y'all have a good night. This is KP signing off.